Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I certainly hope everyone is doing well tonight. And I am once again simulcasting on Rumble and Utizzle. And yeah, you better watch out. It's time to keep our antennas up and heads on a swivel. I didn't want to wear that saying out, but that is exactly what we have to do. So anyway, folks, nobody can call me. What's some names they call people? Like Zoran Mamdami called people. I got to wait so many minutes before I can say too much controversial on my broadcast, but they can't call me them names, racist and misogynistic, whatever them words are. I always put up Thomas Sowell and the opinions of people of color all the time, and other creeds and faiths if they're making sense. But anyway, so there's your latest Thomas Sowell quote. We got too many eggheads that think they know what they're doing, and they can't do anything more than push a pencil, and they don't want to even show up to work to do that. But they want to tell you how to live your life. There's literally millions of them all around the country on different levels of government. But anyway, folks, what do I do while people are coming in? I'm going to play a video that Donald Trump himself posted. Okay, Donald Trump himself. And it'll give you time to get a cold bruja or maybe an adult beverage. Okay, a cup of coffee, whatever you want. So what am I going to do? Play the videos. And then we'll be like butter and get on a roll. I know it's corny, but I like it.
So somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
This that shall take place shall be the most unusual thing, a transfiguration, a going into the marketplace, if you wish, into the news media, where Time magazine will have no choice but to say what I want them to say. Newsweek, what I want to say. The View, what I want to say. Trump shall become a trumpet, says the Lord. Trump shall become a trumpet. I will raise up the Trump to become a trumpet, and Bill Gates to open up the gate of a financial realm for the church, says the Lord. I will not forget 9/11. I will not forget what took place that day. And I will not forget the gatekeeper that watched over New York, who will once again stand and watch over this nation, says the Spirit of God. It shall come to pass that the man that I place in the highest office shall go in whispering my name. But God said when he enters into the office, he will be shouting out by the power of the Spirit, for I shall fill him with my Spirit when he goes into office, and there will be a praying man in the highest seat in your land. There will be a praying president, not a religious one, but I will fool the people, says the Lord. I will fool the people. Yes, I will. God says the one that is chosen shall go in, and they shall say he has hot blood. For the Spirit of God says, yes, he may have hot blood, but he will bring the walls of protection on this country in a greater way, and the economy of this country shall change rapidly, says the Lord of hosts. Listen to the word of the Lord. God says, I will put at your helm for 2 terms a president that will pray, but he will not be a praying president when he starts. I will put him in office, and then I will baptize him with the Holy Spirit and my power, says the Lord of hosts. Come on!
storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about. And they have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope the stream is coming through smooth for you this evening without interruptions. And I did play a clip that Donald Trump posted on Truth Social today that many of you are familiar with. It was a clip of Kim Clement, who passed away. When did Kim Clement pass away? 2000. I think those clips were from 2007. But anyway, that's why I played them. If good enough for Donald Trump to play, it's good enough for me. So let me see who came in to see me tonight. I'm going to leave that quote from Thomas Sowell on the screen because it is prescient and has been prescient for decades and decades in this country, 100 years or more. Know-it-alls, worthless know-it-alls. Todd, how you doing? Miss Mindersue, how are you? My goodness, you came in early. What are you cooking tonight? It was hamburgers, wasn't it? Sissy, how you doing? Robin, nice to see you. Wayne's giving me a thumbs up. Todd's here. Randy's here. All right. Gary. Yeah, I said you were on a secret mission. Well, it's not secret, but a very important mission, especially with the oil situation we're dealing with. Robin, nice to see you. All right, let's see. Benjamin's here. We were worried, though, Gary. We were wondering what in the world. Now you're back. Has anybody heard of the other person? I don't like calling out names if people aren't here, unless I've been asked to say something for them, like our friend who sadly passed away. And I got my channel taken down during that time. Cole, nice to see you. Angela. So, yeah, how many people get their channels taken down like twice in a row and then totally wiped out and win the appeals? I did. I better not talk about it too much. Ruin my luck. MS Motorsports, nice to see you. I said flannel cheese, didn't I? Ha ha, flannel cheese. Almost said anthrax. Pappy Two Bears, nice to see you. All right, Tammy's here. Darla's here. Let's see, who'd I miss out? Debbie, how many Debbies we got? I've only seen one so far. We'll keep an eye out for all our Debbies coming and all my lurkers. Thank you for joining, lurkers. Make sure, even though you're lurking, to give me a thumbs up. It helps the channel to get around. Hello, Kim. Yeah, we like all our lurkers and all our people on Rumble that are watching us. Michelle's here. Yeah. And I am still awake and Trillium. Nice to see you. Working on them to say, hey, do something where we can see what's going on Rumble. And let everybody talk to us, I don't, I'm sure it is something in the Chosen. How you doing? Something in the recalcitrance of Utizzle that does not want to support Rumble, but everybody else they do. Oh, by the way, I was talking about oil prices. I was going to put this up and leave it on the screen, but I chose Thomas Sowell instead. Guess what, folks? Look at there. What do you see? Crude oil. That graph. I wonder what it's doing now. Ha ha ha. Look at there. Collapsed on a couple of things, I would say. It was at 84.08. And, just collapsed. Part of it based on signals, I believe, sent by Iran. Of course, we can't trust them, but we know there is some friction. There is some friction between the radical mullahs that are in control and other parts of the government. And also by Donald Trump's steadfastness in saying, anybody who doesn't realize these prices will come down is a fool. And I'll show you that there's been ships pouring through the Gulf, the Strait of Hormuz. So, but the media won't cover it. They turn their transponders off. I wonder if I got a video of that. Hold on, I might have it. They do a number of tricks without me finding this specific post. I'll just tell you that they put out call signs and repeated bursts of communications. Chinese crew on board. Chinese crew on board. Chinese vessel, do not fire. Chinese vessel, do not fire. Manifests for China. China delivery. China delivery. That's what they do when they leave their transponders on. Here they are. Watch the screen, folks. Let me get it bigger here. Watch what they do. Now, see, that's why I'm saying about these radar apps. If they turn their transponder off, you don't know where they're at. So here they are. You'll see them on one side of the elbow on the left, and then they'll reappear on the right after they run the so-called gauntlets. You think CNN's going to report that? You think any of them are going to report it? No, they're going to keep whipping up the populace, acting like there's a big shortage and a big crisis. Donald Trump has really gotten us in trouble now. We've got an affordability crisis. Of course, that's what they're going to do. But I guess that's why there's a channel like mine out here and many others that'll be reporting the same thing. Trust the process. That's right, Debbie. Final act. Oh, well, we had the FBI. I love that graph. I like that. Don't you like that graph? the FBI, didn't I say Arizona Ground Zero? I thought that, they're the ones who drew first BLOOD by jailing Tina Peterson and keeping her in jail. It was Colorado, but the Democrats are the first ones that took a elected official and treated her so brutally and could care less if she passed away at an advanced age in prison away from her family. So we'll see what kind of treatment they get. So, and we're finding out about this creep here. This creep here, enough time's gone by. He used a word describing the majority, the vast majority of Americans. You know what that word was? Let's see if anybody gets it. Misspell it, please, if you know it. But he used a certain word. Are they gonna erase that word from Goggle like they did Kofefe? Remember when I had that guy in the chats? I wanted to communicate with him. I wanted to have a back and forth, and he just kept, being childish. He brought up Kofefe. He didn't want to know. Kofefe, I remember the day Donald Trump put it out. And I did Goggle it, and it was in the dictionary. It means I will stand in Arabic. Okay, I will stand. So are they going to do the same with this word that this lunatic called us? Hide it from people so they don't know? That word is Kafir, and then IR, kafir. And that means infidel. Didn't I tell you that anybody who's a non-believer is an infidel and they're lower than dogs? They can be taken, the females can be taken as concubines, a.k.a. slaves. And I don't mean just to make a pot of tea either. Anything they want to do with you. I showed you the handsome Muslim imams that were telling their young men what they could do with their concubines. And we had this dopey Zoran Mamdani. He put out I talked about it last night, a comment about calling, what was the young man's name that was protesting? What was he protesting? He was protesting people like what you see on the screen. Okay? People that don't want to integrate into our country, do not want to become Americans, want to undermine our system, want to conquer our system, want to harm our fellow citizens and destroy our legacy and our way of life. That's what he was protesting. What did Zoran Mamdani called him? A whoite supremacist, right? Didn't he? Yeah, he did. That's what he did. He came out with another statement. I had another clip where he said, my wife is the love of my life. After his wife got caught putting up a bunch of disgusting posts about October 7th showing her true colors, they both should be denaturalized and deported, both of them. But no, she's the love of my life. My wife is the love of my life. Which wife? Was she 1, 2, 3? Well, you're allowed up to 4. So, no, he hadn't renounced any of that. We don't allow that in our country, okay? But anyway, here he is, I guess, trying to make up for it. But he still putting the blame on the person who was actually doing what Americans are supposed to do, speaking up when their country is in danger and redressing their government. No, he was the bad one, right?
Good morning. On Saturday, a protest was held outside Gracie Mansion, where I live with my wife, Rama. Neither of us were home at the time. This was a vile protest rooted in white supremacy entitled Stop the Islamic Takeover of New York City. I'm the first Muslim mayor of our city. Anti-Muslim bigotry is nothing new to me, nor is it anything new for the 1 million or so Muslim New Yorkers who know this city as our home.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of cheap talk, but hey, we've let New York fall. We've let New York fall, and we got to go through there just like we're going through other places and getting these people out and prosecuting these people that are cheating on elections and altering unfairly, criminally altering the census to change representation in Congress, to gerrymander so as 11 states have 0 Republican representatives. That's criminal. That's criminal. Somebody's got to do something about it. We've got these judges that have got to be addressed. What happened just before I went live? I got this notification. I don't ask for them. They just pop up. Another judge, a federal judge. They got to say a federal judge. I would put some dopey lower court judge blocked Trump's immigration appeals process rule in violation of the Supreme Court. They dream up different ways to do it. Here we go again. We've got to get rid of these liberal judges for bad behavior. U.S. District Judge Randolph D. Moss blocked a major overhaul of the immigration appeals process on March 8th, just hours before it was set to take effect. See how they operate? Bad faith. He's using flimsy reasoning, and he's waiting to just hours. Because if he'd have done it the day before, it would have been an emergency appeal and overturned, and we wouldn't have skipped a beat. But he's got to do it hours before it goes into effect, so it carries into the next day. The ruling prevents the Trump administration from implementing a regulation that would have significantly fast-tracked deportations by restricting the ability of non-citizens to appeal their case. That is an artifice. An artifice. They're non-citizens. They have been given final orders of deportation. Get the hell out. There isn't where's my due process? How can I appeal it? You never lawfully were able to. You've already gotten your due process. All the process you're due. So anyway, key detail, I didn't get them all. Procedural violation. Boy, it's all pettifogging, something that the Bar Association does not, from my understanding, does not allow that term to be used in court. I would get in trouble if I were an attorney tell my opponent he was pettifogging, but that's exactly what he's doing. So what is it with these judges? They want to leave us vulnerable. They want to destroy our system. They're dealing in bad faith. And I believe there are some judges you could build a case for treason. Definitely subversion. And they got to, I don't know what can we do? Should SCOTUS flag these judges when they get repeated violations of their prior rulings? Should the Supreme Court, I'm using the term flag, but designate them? They give out orders like they're on high anyway, on a high throne. So it's so ordered that Congress do a vote of confidence based on bad behavior, and a simple majority is recommended by the Supreme Court. If you could get 5 of the 9 judges to put that recommendation in their ruling, when they have judges that meet a threshold, say 3 strikes, you use some disingenuous way to clog up the system and frustrate any branch of government. You do it 3 times. We put a recommendation up for a vote of no confidence for bad behavior. Simple majority. And once you got that from the Supreme Court, oh, hey, Supreme Court, why don't you just order Congress to take a vote of no confidence with a majority vote rule? Why don't you just order it? It's either that or it's never going to end. So, anyway, I like my quote from Thomas Sowell. Oh, yeah, hi. Hi, Bambi. Nice to see you. Yeah, it's definitely about good and evil. I wonder if my device is charging properly. Somebody liked playing with my cord out of my eye shot. And, yeah, sharp little claws. But anyway, yeah, it's not pushing power like it used to. So anyway, Brush, how you doing? Who'd I miss? We got 2 Debbies now. Let's see who. 1 million. Well, they said it. Zoran said it was 1.5 million just in New York. Is it 1 million or 1.5 million? Maybe I heard that wrong. There's 8.5 million people in New York. So I don't know. It's too many. It's too many, and it's anyone expressing these radical views got to go. Here's a picture of him when he's getting arrested. He ran his mouth. Waived his rights, saying if I didn't do it, somebody else would do it. They say he's given a ISIS sign there. I don't know if that's the truth or not. But, here we go. He's got a wiseacre smile on his face, putting up his signs, and proud of himself. Absolutely no concern. And that's what I was saying about what this clown degenerate that shot Charlie Kirk. He's smiling, he's snickering, and Luigi. And I've said it for a number of people, like Alder James, who cost dozens of people their lives, and horrible ways to go out too. Tortured, that were helping us during the Cold War. He gave them up for money. I've talked about that. All of these people should already be finished with. They should have been taken care of as a message, okay? A warning. He's already looking to, and he'll probably get it, fan mail. A GoFundMe. It's ridiculous. He should be taken care of in every bit as quickly as Timothy McVeigh was taken care of. Every bit as quickly as Timothy McVeigh. Yeah, he did something against the government. And Merrick Garland made sure he got the switch thrown on him very quickly, right? Jack Posobiec has been putting this up, stuff like this. Remember the Boston bomber? Coming soon. Jack Posobiec put this up. The Rolling Stones put them on their cover, the New York Bombers. And they're still getting fan mail. And I'm sure they joined some prison gang, Muslim, right? Prison gang, where they get whatever they want, bribe the guards. They're protected. They don't have to be worried about what they did. No goggling. How long ago did these two animals take people's lives and terrorize this country during the Boston Marathon. No goggling. It's the Mountain Man quiz. How long ago? And they're still alive. Why? They should have been made an example of too. Let's see. Let me see some posts while you guys are cogitating on that. Here's what Posobiec put up. Execute the Boston bomber. Execute the Boston bomber. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Kim said 13 years. Yes. Yes, I think it's 2 months short of 13 years, I think. But that is close enough. More than close enough. Here he is in action right here. I mean, it's not a question. This isn't about due process or fair trial or none of this stuff. No, we got to protect our country. We got to protect the psyche of our neighbors. Look at it. There he goes. There he goes. So, yeah. And they all heard him. They got a lot on tape. He's got to wipe out the Kafirs, the infidels. Our day is coming. He's going to make sure of it. Here he is. Is this him? Getting walked out? I'm not. Let me see. Let me see what this is.
Why'd you throw the bomb? Why'd you throw it?
I wouldn't have said that to him. I'd have said, I hope you Hang. Okay? And his parents just got naturalized. His parents just got naturalized as citizens. I don't know how long ago. I was going to joke around and say, what, a week ago? I don't know how long ago it was. Not too long ago. Revoke that citizenship of both of them. I heard they placed a missing persons report, I believe, after the fact. Oh, we don't know where our son is. We're told we got no idea. Listen, you raised that thing, okay? And you just got naturalized. I would bet dollars to donuts it was under the Biden administration on a rush job. Breaking revealed that Muslims who attempted to bomb conservatives in New York City were living in upscale Pennsylvania homes. One living in a property listed at nearly $2 million, despite their families only recently becoming naturalized as U.S. citizens. Revoke the citizenship. Revoke it. Find out where's their money coming from. Oh my gosh, I got some clips of dopey liberals. Oh, here's something else. On top of the ballots getting raided in Arizona. Trump posted this again today. I had this day before yesterday. I heard about this. Cassidy, what's her face? Cassidy Hutchinson said Trump attacked Secret Service agent. She'd been referred for criminal charges. And what did Donald Trump say? Well, I'm sure he's saying good. Well, he said good to the raid that's occurring or has occurred. Are they going to do like Georgia and say, hey, you got to give us our ballots back? You can't do a criminal investigation of us. Is the Arizona people going to do that? Good luck. They're still trying that in Georgia. Where's that clip where Trump said good? He put up a couple of interesting things. He put up this one. Reposted this from Son of Liberty. Democrats hate America. Schumer shut down. Yeah, here we go. Here we got lunatics throwing bombs in the street. And we're in an armed conflict with drug cartels and the main sponsor of terrorism around the world, and they shut down the DHS. Oh, that's real great, guys. Here's something else Trump posted. Australia is making we talked about this last night, a terrible humanitarian mistake. Now, we'll talk about it. They got it partially straightened out, but he posted this about the women's soccer team be forced back to Iran, where they'll most likely be killed. Don't do it, Mr. Prime Minister. Give asylum. The U.S. will take them if you won't. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Well, now, how many people in Australia that they got like that one I just showed you that might hurt them? Can you really give them safety? Can you take care of your own country? Here's something else Trump put up. From Della. This is all by design to make POTUS and Republicans look bad for the midterm elections. America needs to clean house from these leftist agitators. All they do is create havoc in America. They proved it with Biden's disaster for 4 years. Enough. Well, it was knowingly done. Here's another one Trump put up. Today, Juju Marie. I've seen a lot of stuff in politics, but I've never seen people who hate their country nearly as much as the current Democrats. Look at them all. Got their devil's horns. Thank you, Donald J. Trump, for putting that up. I appreciate it. Another reposting from Donald Trump. From Scott Jennings. Good morning, America. As you awake, we have radical Islamic terrorists throwing IEDs in New York City and 5-hour security lines at some airports. And the Democratic Party has the Department of Homeland Security shut down. Good morning, America. All because they want to do just what that judge is trying to do, keep people in this country who have no business being here in the first place. So here he is again for asylum. And Drew Pavio said the story is absolutely insane. Senior Iranian regime propaganda threatened to have members of the Iranian football team deleted because they didn't sing the national anthem. We know this. The 5 girls escaped and claimed asylum. The rest face a flight home tomorrow to almost certain persecution. So that might not be the case. But they did not want to stay. They were afraid for their families. They wanted to go back home. And it was like 2C TV was saying, the regime may just coddle them and demonize the ones that stayed. And I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But they're willingly going back themselves. The 5 didn't. Citizen Free Press put up, the FBI conducted authorized, court-ordered searches at homes in New Township and Middle Township in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, tied to an ID that ignited during a protest in New York City by the Islamic jihadists. I guess that's where this guy lived. Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Now, they say this guy traveled to Turkey. Who else traveled to Turkey? The golf course assassin, right? The two pro-Muslim extremists, Ibrahim Qayyumi and Emir Ballot, both self-radicalized. Oh, really? Trying to let the parents off the hook? In recent years have traveled to Turkey and other terror training hotspots. Well, their parents, they're that young and traveling all over the world, and they're not paying attention to what they're putting in their social media or what they're espousing. They don't deserve to be in this country. They can go back too. A masked assailant shot the mayor of Araba, Israel, on Sunday, injuring him and another local politician while they were dining with colleagues in a restaurant in the northern Arab city. And I previewed this so I can show it. You don't hear anything. You just see figures going around. You get the description, the gist of what happens. But hey, is this what we want in our country? Hey, that's what we're getting. That's what we're going to be getting. That's why I said you better watch out. Everybody better watch out. Head on a swivel. See something, say something. They're all over the place. Here's Donald Trump again. Let's see what he put up. I just spoke to Prime Minister Anthony Albanese of Australia concerning the Iranian national women's soccer team. He's on it. 5 have already been taken care of and the rest are on their way home. Some, however, feel they must go back because they are worried about the safety of their families, including threats to those family members if they don't return. In any event, the Prime Minister is doing a very good job having to do with this rather delicate situation. God bless Australia. President Donald J. Trump. And to be fair, if they want to go home, you have to respect that. They know their culture better. They know how much pull their families have. Their families might have some pull now. You never know. Connections. Donald Trump again posted the Save America Act. All voters must show voter ID. All voters must show proof of citizenship. No mail-in ballots. No men and women's sports. No transgender mutilation surgery for children. So what he's done is taken every 85 to 90% to 15 to 10% issue and put it all in a beautiful bill. Well, like I said, you never know. Their parents might have some pull. And, to be on the Olympic team, you got to be a prominent in that society for your kids to get the kind of training and all that stuff. Here we go. Let's see here. If Iran does anything, now Trump put out comments about the Straits of Hormuz. Okay, even thinking about just taking it over. I mean, treated like the Panama Canal. And you all know about, I showed you that island that he could seize that island. Hey, we're going to do what's in our national interests, okay? And the world's financial national interests. If Iran does anything that stops the flow of oil within the Strait of Hormuz, they will be hit by the United States of America 20 times harder than they have been hit thus far. Additionally, we will take out easily destroyable targets that will make it virtually impossible for Iran to ever be built back as a nation again. Death, fire, and fury will rain upon them. But I hope and pray that it does not happen. This is a gift from the United States of America to China and all those nations that use the Hormuz Strait. Hopefully, it is a gesture that will be greatly appreciated. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Yeah. China gets more oil than they're letting on through the Straits of Hormuz. People are saying 20%. And Venezuela was what, 14%? And who knows what they were getting out of other countries. So we're looking, I would say probably close to 40% of a significant amount to China. And Trump keeping it open, he's doing them a favor. Hi, Phil. How you doing? Sue, nice to see you. Mac's here. How you doing, Mac? Roland's here. Roland. All right, we got everybody coming in. That's good. So anyway, that's why you see the price of oil tumbling. Plus, now they say that Israel's doing all this attack on all facilities and tankers. I ain't going to blame them all. I heard that these oil tankers you see out there right now, lit up, that they're owned by the Republican Guard, the Iranian Republican Guard. They got their own business running. And they were going through the Strait of Hormuz. Not anymore. The U.S. Navy launched an attack on 3 Iranian vessels, presumably oil tankers in the Persian Gulf. Yeah. They're the ones getting the knots on their head. And, we take that island, which is a major hub. They're going to get starved out economically. This is a second attack on this state-of-the-art vessel. Second burning Iranian corvette of the Shahid Soleimani type, damaged during an attack near the port of Bandar Abbas. I showed you the first time. I'm going to see if I still got that. Let's see, the White House put out declassified. It's a weird kind of, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. I think this is it. It's got a helicopter pad on the back. Yeah, this is it. Watch at the end. You'll see a big helicopter pad, heliopad. Yeah, apparently they just put out still pictures. Apparently they didn't want too much detail on whatever ordnance they were using. Very interesting. This is a weird... I want to take that one down. This is a weird video that shows... Now, the people that put this video up said that it's unusual for fishing boats or freighters to be this close to an American aircraft carrier. Uh-oh, where'd it go? There it is. This is the USS Abraham Lincoln. And I don't think it's unusual if the Navy knows about the vessel. But one thing I want you to notice at the beginning, look there in the bottom center of the screen. They're out there and they're roasting chickens. You'll see them turning on the rotisserie. But anyway, this is the USS Abraham Lincoln. So some of the crew on that work vessel posted it as proof that the Abraham Lincoln hadn't been struck by anything. And you know what? They have got vessels that look like pure scrap, salvage, that a lot of them are out there running missions, for us, clandestine, undercover vessels, but I'm sure a lot of you all know about that kind of thing. You think you're looking at a garbage scow, and it's actually one of the most advanced technological things out on the water at the time. So anyway, let's see. What kind of reports are we getting about this business? Putin gave positive assessments of the mediation efforts of the USA and Trump personally in resolving the conflict in Ukraine. What? Trump stated in an interview that he considered taking control of the Strait of Hormuz. That's when the oil prices started dropping. Now, if they report on everybody, hundreds of vessels cutting through there. Trump had a call with Putin today. Topics of the dialogue between Putin and Trump. The focus of the conversation was on the conflict around Iran and negotiations on a Ukrainian settlement. The conversation took place at the initiative of the American president. The leaders held substantive and useful exchange of views on the situation in Iran. Putin expressed a number of considerations aimed at a speedy political and diplomatic settlement of the conflict in Iran. Yeah, well, get somebody in there that's not a lunatic, okay? And then, again, I already read this, that Putin gave positive assessments of the mediation. Now, this is Russian television reporting. So they're reporting the Kremlin's line, what the Kremlin wants them to report. And they're reporting that Putin gave positive assessments about the mediation efforts of Trump. So we see a softening of positions. Trump claims he has a plan of action in response to the sharp rise in oil prices. I have a plan for everything. Got it? I have a plan for everything. You'll be very pleased. Well, apparently it was working if you look at that graph. We are ready for a 10 years of war with the USA. Republican Guard Brigadier General. Yeah, sure you are. I watched an interview with Newt Gingrich, and he was saying that a lot of these Republican Guard people, they don't have a future. Even if Trump says, hey, I'll give you immunity, they've got so many people that want their hides. They got to stay in power or else. So it needs to be looked at. They need to come up with some kind of, maybe because they've had Republican Guard members ditching their uniforms, putting on hospital the surgical masks, and going over to Afghanistan or slipping out across the border. There are a lot of them leaving. But there's thousands and thousands of hardcore characters that are known, that people want their hides, and there has to be some, you can't wipe out thousands and thousands. Well, they did, but some way to get them to stand down and get out of the picture. So anyway, let's see what the next one is here. A representative of the Iranian Ministry of Foreign Affairs stated that Tehran will not apologize for defending Iran and does not harbor hostility towards any country in the region. Well, they got summoned by Turkey. Their ambassador got summoned personally to the capital, and they got a lot of splaining to do, along with a lot of other countries. Iranian Foreign Minister Araghchi, 9 days after Operation Epic Mistakes, oil prices have doubled while the prices of all goods are rapidly rising. We know that the U.S. is plotting against our oil and nuclear facilities in the hope of containing a huge inflationary shock. Iran is fully prepared for this, and we also have many surprises in store. Yeah? Well, you're the ones who've been getting surprised. But you can tell they want to cause inflationary shock as a weapon. Oh, we had two things happen. Keir Starmer, after he made an idiot of himself, sent a submarine. But I'll put a picture of that up in a minute. At least 3 American B-52 bombers have landed at the Royal Air Force Base in Fairford, UK. It's about damn time. So we haven't really sent these Stratofortresses over, which can handle 60,000 pounds of ordnance. So that's, if it's not happening right now, it's getting ready to happen. So the Brits have woke up and really made themselves look bad. Before that, 4 B-1 Lancer bombers also arrived there. This suggests that the, quote, coalition is preparing for a massive bombing of Iran. Well, this was the first time they did not say Epstein coalition. So maybe the Kremlin's making them cool it a little bit. Making them cool it. And here's the submarine. I think I got a video of the B-52s. I'll look and see. The day before, a British submarine was spotted, leaving a military base in Faslane. I don't know what they're going to do, but they have no really surface vessels to amount to anything. It used to be Rule Britannia. Britannia rules the waves. Not anymore. I have the series Trump's talked about, called Victory at Sea. Victory at Sea. And that's how the video ends. Them singing Rule Britannia. Britannia rules the waves. And maybe that was his hint to them. You ain't what you used to be. You ain't what you used to be. Let me see. Oh, here's about that creepy bomber. Maybe I'm being too rough on the parents. I don't know. What do you all think? Think I'm being too rough on the parents in my demands? But I certainly hope that they come up with charges where this person will not be with us. They should take care of it. All of them. All of them. All the ones I just mentioned earlier, too. Except Howard James. He's dead. But in the next 6 months, they should all be out of here.
As alleged, both defendants have admitted that they acted on Saturday because of ISIS. As Qayyumi was being placed into an NYPD vehicle following his arrest, a person in the crowd asked why he had done this. As shown on NYPD body-worn camera footage referenced in the complaint, Qayyumi responded with ISIS. And at the precinct, after being advised of his Miranda rights and waiving those rights, Qayyumi said in recorded post-arrest statements that he had watched ISIS propaganda on his phone and that his actions that day were partly inspired by ISIS. The complaint also details statements made by Amir Ballot after his arrest. En route to the NYPD precinct, Ballot made spontaneous statements without being questioned by NYPD officers that were captured on body-worn camera footage. He said, "This isn't a religion that just stands when people talk about the blessed name of the prophet. We take action, as well as, if I didn't do it, someone else will come and do it." And later, after waiving his rights, he requested paper and wrote a message declaring in part, "I pledge my allegiance to the Islamic State. Die in your rage, you kuffar." Now, "die in your rage" is a commonly known ISIS slogan, and kuffar is an Arabic term that refers to non-believers. He also told investigators that he had hoped to carry out an attack even bigger than the Boston Marathon bombing, which he noted resulted in only 3 deaths. These statements, as set forth in the complaint, make clear that this was not random violence. This was a planned attack motivated by extremist ideology and inspired by a violent foreign terrorist organization. The complaint alleges not only why the defendants acted, but how. Preliminary testing has determined that one of the devices contained triacetone triperoxide, or TATP, also commonly referred to as Mother of Satan, a highly volatile explosive that has been used in multiple terrorist attacks over the last decade. As we have previously discussed, the NYPD identified a vehicle yesterday on East End Avenue that was linked to the defendants. Inside that vehicle, investigators recovered handwritten notes referencing TATP explosive and listing chemical ingredients for the type of explosive device used by the defendants on Saturday. Make no mistake, what happened this weekend was incredibly dangerous, and the ongoing investigation will be exhaustive. From the first moments of that investigation, the NYPD has been working seamlessly with our federal partners, many of whom have joined us here. In particular, the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force, which includes...
Yeah, that substance they used, I guess you could kind of compare it to the old-timey nitroglycerin. Remember we used to watch these Westerns where they'd be moving nitroglycerin and they'd shake the bottle a little bit and say, "What are you, crazy?" You know, carrying around a case of nitroglycerin. It's that unstable and volatile. It's stuff they call Mother of Satan or something like that. But anyway, I put a link for buy me a coffee in the chats around the 1:01 mark or the hour mark. If anybody wants to help the channel out, I do appreciate it. And Miss Mindersu put some boobs in. I'll put a pow, and I'll use one of these bombs. Different kind, pow. That goes off quicker. Watch how quick these go off. Pow. But anyway, nothing against her. But anyway, I appreciate this week Mike and Bev and Wayne for helping out with Buy Me a Coffee. I do appreciate it. I have to make sure I give people shout outs. And Kim, yes, I heard he got his leg blown off. Just heard the new Iranian leader had been injured. Yeah, I mentioned he got injured yesterday, but I didn't know any details. Now I'm hearing that he's missing one of his legs. And that's why he's one of the reasons. Who knows? I mean, if he's even conscious, you know, or I wouldn't put it past him to lie about him being alive. So, hi, Lori. Nice to see you, Jerry. Nice to see you. Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard he lost his leg. And yeah, they arrest parents because their kids. That's right, Jerry. I remember that. There's a guy on trial. They just found guilty. Jerry. And that's the second parent. Oh, well, I'm being too loud, Gary. I'm sometimes I lean in too close, and I'm very verbose, so I'll lower my voice. I'm shouting, I guess. I apologize for that. I'll try to talk in a more reasonable tone. How's this? And back up from the device here. Anyway, so, we got to identify these people and put their sentencing according to their dysfunction and level of threat. Okay? Their level of threat. Like Andy No put this up. I was just going to do the one picture, but look at this. Why is this person walking free? Why is this person walking around free? Andy No put up Trantifa. Excuse me. Trantifa profile. Violent Portland Antifa member Isabel, I can't pronounce it, formerly Philip Haskins Delisi, has evil trans tattooed across his neck. I had somebody tell me one time, what has he got? What was it? Disabled, tattooed on his forehead. But anyway, now a Muslim, he's sending me threats of violence after Khomeini's assassination. So he's got a mugshot of the person, so the person's been arrested for something. So I said, well, let me see what's going on here. So I pulled up the other pictures. Here he is. How many times have you seen this outfit causing public disturbances and being aggressive and violent with people? Hi, EDK, how you doing? So Andy put this one up. I have finally obtained a mugshot of a violent, whoa, let me straighten that out. Come on, a violent Portland Antifa member who was convicted last summer for attacking a woman. So he's convicted. Isabella Rosette, whatever, born Philip Haskins Delisi and known by several aliases, was convicted in August 2025 of an attempted assault and an unlawful use of mace for attacking a female anti-Islam activist in 2024. His mugshot prominently displays a large tattoo on his neck reading evil trans. Oh, something I want to ask the chats. I got one more thing to post about him, or two, I don't know. The guy that was protesting in front of Mamdami's, okay, exercising his right and protesting, right? I think he's the same guy that got pulled away into the crowd and ended up with his head bleeding. Remember that? Is he the same guy that got pulled into that crowd and sucked away and disappeared into a crowd, and then he showed up later on and they beat him about the head? Here's another picture of that thing running around free. Matter of time. Jake Lang, right, Todd? Wasn't he the same guy that got pulled away and beaten? So, No finishes up by saying he identifies as a trans Muslim woman. Originally from Westfield, New Jersey, he moved years ago to Portland, Oregon, where he became active in the city's militant Antifa scene. Over time, he cycled through a series of identities. Earlier in his activism, he presented as a communist organizer known for appearing in costumes. He later adopted a female Latinx identity before converting to Shia Islam. So he's a member of a terrorist or designated terrorist organization. Get him off the streets. He should be in an insane asylum. Oh, here you go. A little bit of humor, folks. A little bit of humor. Obama Library to feature interactive exhibit where visitors can print their own birth certificates. That's July 8 or June 18th or 19th, whatever. I forget. Find something productive to do that day. What's this one here? Let's see. Oh, this is where Trump said, great. FBI's secretly seizes election records from Arizona's largest county as voting probe expands. Well, man, do we want to see arrests. In Colorado, too. You know, I'll get back to Mom Dami in a minute. They found a total of 3 devices around Mom Dami's house. You know what that made me think of? Made me think of the J6 BOMBER. Was his mission really to set something up, make Jake Lang look bad? And he got a little too rambunctious and got caught? I don't know. Seems awful suspicious to me. But anyway, so the FBI has got the hard evidence. And once again, how many days in a row and multiple times? Now, he said that this last night, and remember I screwed up. I said I called it the SAVE Act, but I immediately corrected myself and said, I am sorry, Mr. President. It's the Save America Act. And he posted this last night, a much better and more important name, President DJT. So, yeah. Here we go. What's going on here? What is this now? France plans a purely defensive mission. Oh, yeah, I got to say purely defensive. You don't want to make anybody mad. Mission to resume operations in the Strait of Hormuz. President Macron announced while visiting Cyprus. Things are heating up. Iran has launched strikes on 5 strategic U.S. bases in the Middle East, as well as on Israeli bases in Tel Aviv, the Republican Guard reported. Well, that's not what we're seeing. We're hearing talk. We're not seeing a lot of action. But now here, Britain. Following the oil prices, I wonder if this has changed. This is natural gas. See how it spiked up? It's starting to come down by the time they did this report. Natural gas has also risen in price in Europe. Its cost soared to the level of January 23. This is due to the war in Iran blockade of Strait of Hormuz. I can see it actively dropping from a very sharp spike. I believe, I haven't checked it, but I believe we're going to see it go down, just like oil. Because of the way Donald Trump is being strong about this and very certain. There's only enough natural gas left in the UK storage facilities for 2 days. Oh my gosh. This has raised concerns about a supply crisis due to the shutdown of the world's largest gas complex in the Middle East and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. According to data from the National Gas Reserves in the Whoa, what the heck? I hit a broken heart by accident there. Oh, I'm so sorry, Britain. According to data from the National Gas Reserves in the UK have decreased from 18,000 gigawatt hours in 2025 to 6,700, which is enough to meet just 1.5 days of demand. A similar amount is stored in the form of liquefied natural gas. Well, you better help with keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. That's all I got to tell you. How true is this? Who's this guy? Who you? Iranian media have started claiming that after heavy bombardments from Iran, The king of Bahrain allegedly fled the country. Bahrain has not officially confirmed that the king left the country. It cannot be ruled out that this might be a disinformation campaign by the Iranians. Of course it could be. To stir up the Shia factor in Bahrain. We don't want to get too much in the weeds on Sharia or Shia and Sunni, but it's definitely something that plays a role. But it's no coincidence that the UAE and Saudi Arabian troops were recently deployed to the country to quell riots. So they're hoping for division. They are hoping for division. Here's Donald Trump. Let's see. He gave a speech. He said they were weeks away from striking us. Okay, but that's not what this clip is about. But I don't have that clip, but I do want to make sure everybody hears that. He said they were about a week away from hitting us first. But anyway, let's see what he's got to say here.
Iran's drone and missile capability is being utterly demolished. The Navy is gone. It's all lying at the bottom of the ocean. 46 ships. Can you believe it? In fact, I got a little upset with our people. I said, what quality of ship? Excellent, sir. Top of the line. I said, why did we just capture the ship? We could have used it. Why did we sink them? They said, it's more fun to sink them. I said, they like sinking them better. They say it's safer to sink them. I guess it's probably true. But think of it, we knocked out 46, it actually took 3.5 days. Their terrorist leaders are gone. We're counting down the minutes until they will be gone. Think of it, we had leaders and they're gone. Then we had new leaders and they're gone. And now nobody has any idea who the people are that are going to be the head of the country.
Yeah, we put them at the bottom of the ocean. I agree. Yeah, I would. We pray for their safety. I mean, we don't want to lose any soldiers. But like Trump said, these things happen in war. It's a sad fact. And it's either we confront them now or we will be paying a big price later.
Level. We can't let that ever happen again. And then they cheated again in the last election, but I went up. The term I used most was too big to rig. You got to go out, don't believe, because we had polls having us way up. I said, don't believe the polls. Go out and vote. Make it too big to rig. And that's what happened. So a couple of races they cheated or they got away with it. A couple of Senate races, my opinion. But we have to make it too big to rig, and that's what we did. But we shouldn't have to win an election that way. You're going to have a hard time winning elections that way. So you got to get that passed. And if we fight, we will win, and we will make our country safer and stronger and richer and greater than it ever has been before. And I want to say, very importantly, because they would like you not to say this, because this is a terrible thing in their opinion to say, God bless you and God bless America. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much.
Well, I can't let the music play too much. I'll get a strike. That's right, Gary. United we stand. They want to divide that Gulf, though, that's for sure. But, the Arabs, they've been fighting for centuries. They've been fighting for 1,000 years. Maybe this will bring some kind of sanity and unity. I don't know. Here, somebody posted this. I don't know. I'm going to play this. It's supposed to be liberals expressing themselves was the way this was put on Citizens Free Press. So let's see how they express themselves.
What makes you mad? And now I invite you to scream! Scream! you to bounce. Shake it up. Haven, shake your arms. Are you scared? You okay? Shake it up. Put your arms over your arms. Give yourself a hug. This is called havening. Feel your hands. Shake it out and give it back to the earth.
I'm just worried about that poor dog. Yeah, I heard she's available for a date. Bill Maher, I don't know. Trump came out and bashed him. I mean, hit him on a lot of stuff. And then he put Adam Schiff in a trick box, right? Well, here, I don't even know who this guy is. Some of you all in the chats may know who this person is. I'm trying to figure out. I can't keep up with all the chats, but yeah, dog is scared. Hi, Felix. Wanda. Yeah, they act like idiots. But anyway, here's Bill Maher. He's not lashing out at Trump. As a matter of fact, he's kind of, but he's not attacking him. So
I could not have taken that invitation.
Yeah, that's you.
So yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, it's not. I completely understand why you went. I mean, it's totally convincing.
But I honestly feel like your position is not someone who wants to actually make the country better.
Well,
it's someone who just wants to wallow in Trump hate,
well,
which is fun to wallow in.
You know I want to make the country better, and I'm not wallowing in anything. What I'm seeing is the possibility of that errand backfiring. Right?
How?
Well, the way it backfired in your case. I mean, it backfired. Look, talk about the aftermath. I mean, he's now attacking you for having come,
proving my point that I never pulled a punch, never stopped doing my job. There was never a deal on the table that
But what was accomplished? Was anything accomplished? It just seems like a lot of pain.
It was. Look, I don't read my social media. So, I mean, I know you gave up that, which is
That's good.
a big part of your life.
Yeah.
I was never there.
Right.
So, pain, all I hear is when I go out in public, I walk into a restaurant and 20 people come up to me and say, thank God for you. And for keeping it down the middle and for being honest to both sides. No, I know there are people probably sitting in that restaurant thinking, oh, there's the asshole who had dinner with Trump. And I know in this town, the super woke show business community, most of them don't like me for that. But I don't feel like that is a sophisticated position that I have to respect.
Yeah, he could be a rubber face. He could be a rubber face. And you all know what that means, right? Code word, rubber face. Anyway, here, let me see what this one is. Just in, FBI, this is another report. The FBI has quietly expanded its criminal investigation. John, who put it out? Was it Solomon? Who put out the report about this? The only official report was really when Trump put up his post. Other than that, it was John Solomon made a report that it was secretly done. They've used that term here, they use it here. FBI secretly seizes voting records, and it says FBI has quietly expanded its criminal investigation into suspected election irregularities. Obtaining a grand jury subpoena. Remember how many times have I talked about the secrecy of grand juries is required. Also, you can have confidential grand juries, the secret grand juries people don't even know about, except the presiding judge of the district or whatever, that you've impaneled a grand jury for a certain thing. And of course, like Sidney Powell, she has the power to convene grand juries for JAG. So I don't know. They're getting a massive trove of voting records from Arizona's largest county. What is that? Maricopa County. George Soros bought and paid for it. Maricopa County. So anyway, here's another Operation Epic Fury. Let me see. Oh, I should have played this earlier. This is a clip from Fox News. I don't even know how long. I don't think it's very long. Let me see what they're talking about.
So, Brian, you did a phone interview with the president of the United States. What is his read on this?
So I asked him, how do you get the prices down? I know how much you care about oil and gas. And he says, tell these tankers to get to it. We've wiped out most of their launchers. Here's exactly what he said. These ships should go through the Strait of Hormuz and show some guts. There's nothing to be afraid of. They have no Navy. We sunk all their ships. He went on to say, he said, look, yeah, there's risk in the region. The region's volatile. There are launchers. There's just about 150 left. That's just about 20% of totals. They can't regenerate. They can't make any more. And we are in the region ready to act quickly on all these type of attacks. Now, I think they're going to get some additional naval assets in there to do some escorting. But there was a tanker that came through yesterday.
Successfully.
Successfully. No problem. And he's saying, come on, guys, get to.
Brian Kilmeade's always been, I think people trust Brian Kilmeade, and that kind of talk right there, it also contributed to the drop in the oil prices. I think if they disclose that there has been tankers just pouring through, that it'll go down even more. Trump's going to get some kind of submission signal from the Iranians. They put out something, let me see. They put out something where they were going to limit the size of the ordnance. I'm not sure if I have it. But they're not going to shoot anything small anymore is what they were saying. I don't know if that was another way of saying that they're not going to be harassing vessels. They're just going to shoot large ballistic missiles. So we'll have to see. Well, here's one more clip from Donald Trump at his speech. Let's see. Whoops, I got to cut my mic off.
In the room, but keep winning, right? Yeah. 124-0 this Tuesday. 124 wins, no losses. Is that good? And there were some rebels. We endorsed a few rebels, right? A few that Mike was saying, it's going to be a tough one. But we're 124-0. But as president, nobody ever asked me for money. And as president, as president, you sort of don't make campaign contributions, right? But I heard you were at $19 million today. I said, has that ever been done? No, sir, it's a record, but 20 would sound better, right, Mike? Yes. He said, I'm going to give you $1 million. It's the first time I've done that. I never did it before. I never did it before. I never did it before. Now I'll be hit up by every political group, every Republican running. Sir, can I have some, give me a little cash. I'll have Emmer come up to me and say, how about a little cash for my campaign? I will no longer have the excuse that as president, anyway, no, but we had to hit the 20, right? We had to hit the 20. That was a hell of a thing. You beat it by a lot. You beat the record, the previous record by a lot. But I want to thank House Republicans for passing another common sense measure. To me, the easiest of all, the Save America Act, to protect our sacred American. Look at this. Look. It's the easiest thing we have. I can't, it's the easiest thing we
The easiest thing to do is pass the Save America Act. He's rubbing it in their faces that we've got a record amount of money in the coffers for the Republican Party. We're kicking the hell out of Iran. And I didn't get into it in any depth, but I will. We're breaking a stranglehold on the world economy with Britain in a lot of ways. One way is Lloyd's of London insurance. People would be shocked how much money they have been making around the world, how much they've cost all of us in this country just through the insurance industry. And he's breaking their backs, along with all the other good things we're seeing. The Democrat Party is broke. Their funding with USAID being taken out is down to pennies, nickels, and dimes. The research into who is funding these protests, they're too scared to cough up the money, even if they had it. The deep state's losing income from Venezuela. Very soon, well, right now they're not getting squat out of Cuba. Cuba is costing them money, and they're getting ready to capitulate. Iran is no longer a source, and our own government through USAID is no longer a source. And it's going to compound, folks. But this grand jury thing, I was looking at the chats. Yes. Judge Advocate General. This raid in Arizona shocked a lot of people. They don't even know there's a grand jury. They don't know where it is. They don't know how far they're into it. They don't know whose names are on it. That's what a secret grand jury is about. And remember the word knowingly, knowingly, knowingly. That's why I'm going to play this lady in this next clip. And at what point are the majority of Americans going to realize that they knowingly stole these elections from us? That they knowingly broke the law when they prosecuted Donald Trump? They knowingly did a lot of terrible things. And we've got other shocks that'll be coming out, like 9/11. So it's really heating up. And this person was a Democrat, okay? So anyway, the lights are cutting on, folks. I put a link in the description about 5 minutes earlier to 128 mark or something like that for Buy Me a Coffee. Anybody wants to help the channel out. And I appreciate everybody that went to Buy Me a Coffee to help out with the channel. I got my quick booms. Pow! Kapow! This one takes a little longer. Watch. Boom! But anyway, Wayne and Mike and Bev for helping out this week, and everybody else. Oh, Gary, you've been there. You told me no titles, but I will just remind everybody that your former title, since you don't like titles, was chairman of the board. You helped out the channel tremendously. You, Miss Mender Sue, so many other people that helped out last week and all through the year. And last year, Younger Gang, Roland, Colette, Shannon, Hilarious too, Todd. Yeah. And I appreciate it so much, you all. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this clip of this lady. And I hope a lot of people that maybe there's somebody watching my video that couldn't stand Trump. And maybe they're thinking twice. And if you are out there listening to me, please listen to what this lady has to say, because we have to stick together, you know, folks. And we got to look for the good in each other, not just let people tell us that other people are bad. Look for the good in people you interact with. So anyway, folks, I always say thank you for spending your precious time with me. I hope you enjoy this clip. You all have a great night. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
I resisted for a long time this notion that Democrats were deliberately inviting masses of foreigners into the country because they wanted to grow little Democrats and create a one-party state. I've started to come around to that view. Before Trump effectively closed the southern border, I imagined a lot of it was incompetence and fecklessness. Now, there may be an element of that, but I think it was more intentional. The Biden administration opened that border on purpose and shipped people all over the country, wherever they wanted to go. They put illegal migrants with no ID onto commercial airplanes with regular passengers who all have to have, an impeccable national ID. I mean, it's just, there is design behind it. And I don't have any other theory aside from this pathological passion for minorities and a weird notion that people who are non-white are superior. I don't see any other reason for inviting so many people in, especially because, on the one hand, the left talks about, oh, we need these people economically. We have this aging age structure, and Social Security's imperiled, and Medicare costs too much, and we need young people to fill out the workforce. But then, they support family reunification, which means these people can bring in their parents, right? I mean, so much for improving the age structure.